There is a completely different way to edit images with artificial intelligence, and it doesn't use long prompts or trial and error. Instead, you control the image using JSON code. Yes, as if you were programming the image. In this method, the AI first extracts the entire visual structure of an image, such as objects, text, lighting, style, framing, and so on. And it turns everything into an organized JSON file. After that, you can simply edit the JSON to change anything. Change text, alter objects, modify the photography style, or even recreate the entire image while keeping the same composition. The result is an insane level of control, much more precise than asking for changes in natural language. So, before I show you all of this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to support us and watch the videos without ads, just click the join button. Deal? So, let's get to the video. Well guys, today I want to show you how to use Gemini to edit your photos, your images, basically whatever you want using JSON. And why is this important? When we try to edit an image, any image for example, to modify some text, we know that many modern artificial intelligence models have trouble maintaining consistency. So, it might be able to change the text, but often it also alters other elements of the image, like the lighting, the face, the objects, and so on. By using this technique that I'm going to show you now, we greatly reduce the chance of the artificial intelligence model hallucinating when editing the image. It turned out well. I did some tests, and now I'll show you. Let's start by editing an image that was generated by artificial intelligence, but I want to change its text. This is the image right here. I made this infographic in Notebook LM. Now I want to change the title because I think it's too long. What am I going to do? I'm going to save this image on my computer in JPG or JPEG format. It doesn't matter. Then I'll do the following. Here inside Gemini, I'm going to click on the plus sign. It can be on your free account. That's no problem at all. I'm going to upload the infographic file I just saved. Then I'm going to type this prompt. All the prompts I use here will be down below in the video description. Okay, so this is the first prompt. Extract all the visual information from this image, including all the text content, and format everything as a structured JSON file. For this step, you will select the Gemini Quick model here. Then just send the command. Done. It has already finished and brought me a JSON code describing all the elements of the image. So everything it saw here is described in my JSON code. Now, how do I change the text in this image? In this first example, I will edit the JSON file. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use this prompt here. Generate a new image using this JSON data. Then I'm going to copy here the code that it just generated. I'll paste it into the prompt and make the edit here. Instead of rare earths, the heart of technology, and the race for autonomy, I'm going to delete this final part here. And I'm just going to make this change. But for that, I need to upload the image again. So I'm going to click here on the plus sign. Upload file. And upload the image again. And now you need to use the PRO model. Why? If you leave it in quick mode, it won't work. So select the PRO. And then just send it. When you select the PRO, it automatically loads the Nano Banana 2. If you leave it in quick mode, it doesn't work. At least in the tests I did here at home. Done. It's finished. And check out the result. First here, the original image. I have the full title here. Rare Earths, the Heart of Technology, and the Race for Autonomy. And here, the image that was just edited. Notice that it removed the last part of the title here. Let's compare the consistency. Look, on the left side, the original image. On the right side, the image edited using the JSON code. Notice that everything I have here on the left side remains the same on the right side. The only thing that was changed was the title, just the way I edited it in my JSON code. So, that's really cool. Because sometimes, when we ask Nano Banana 2 itself to perform this task, it hallucinates and delivers a slightly different image. Not here. Everything I have in the original image remains in the edited image. Only the change I requested was implemented. Now, does it also work for images that weren't generated by artificial intelligence, like this one here? So, it's a photo I got from Pexels. just a normal one. I have here a sign that's behind a fence, and I'm going to ask the artificial intelligence to change the text that's here, translating it into Portuguese. Let's see if it can do it. Notice that I asked for the same thing here. Extract all the visual information from this image, including all the text content, and format everything as a structured JSON file. It did the analysis here, first using the quick mode, and brought me the JSON code. Then, I did the same procedure. I put the prompt here. Generate a new image using this JSON data, but instead of using the text in English, I translated it into Portuguese. I sent the command, and this was the result. Temporarily closed for construction. By the way, the text remains behind the fence. So, this is a complicated image because the text is behind the fence. And even so, it managed to do the translation I asked for simply by editing the code in JSON. Comparing the two images side by side here. On the left side, the original image. On the right side, the image that was edited using the JSON code. Notice that I have the same lighting, the same elements, the text remains behind the fence. Anyway, a perfect edit. Now, let's try another technique where I'm going to ask the artificial intelligence itself to change the JSON code. I'm not going to edit anything, so I'm going to upload this image here. Take a look, I have a drawing here, and then I'm going to ask for the following. The same thing as before. Extract all the visual information from this image, and so on, and I'll send it. Done. I already have my JSON code here, and now, instead of editing the code itself, I'm going to paste this prompt here. Generate a new image using this JSON data, but replace the clock on the wall with a painting of the Mona Lisa. Even so, I need to copy the code, paste it here again, and upload the same image. Remember that I need to switch here from fast mode to pro. Done. It's done. Let's do a direct comparison. On my left side, the original image. Here I have the bookshelf with the same number of books, the same lighting, the flags, the blackboard, the desks, the other table, more books, the pictures that appear here, the globe. But instead of the clock, I have a painting of the Mona Lisa here, keeping the same style as the image. In other words, it didn't just create a new element. It adapted this element to the original image. So, it turned out really cool, because notice that the consistency remains the same, and the only change that was made was swapping the clock for the Mona Lisa painting. So, notice that this technique also works. If you don't want to edit the code directly in JSON, you can upload the image again, copy the code it just extracted, and then you can ask the artificial intelligence itself to make the change for you. Now, another cool thing you can do with this technique is copy the style of one photograph and apply it to another. Take a look at this example. I'm going to use this photo here that I found on the internet. Then I'm going to ask the following. Describe the photographic techniques present in this image in JSON format. I'll send it in quick mode. So, what's the idea here? It's not about copying the pose, the environment, none of that. What I want is for it to copy the photographic techniques, the lighting, the texture, and so on. Let's see if it can do it. Done. I already have my JSON code here. Now I'm going to upload another image here. I chose this image here. I'm going to use this prompt. Generate a photo of this subject based on the following JSON file. And I'm going to copy the file that describes the original image's photographic techniques. Switching again here to Pro. And I'm going to send it. And just look at this result. Here I have my original image with all these photographic techniques that were applied. Then I uploaded this image here, which had nothing to do with the original photo. And it gave me this result here. Look how cool it turned out. In other words, it managed to copy exactly the photography techniques that were applied to the original image to give me this result here. If you want to edit this image that was generated, you can do that too. What do you need to do? The first thing is to download the image here. Then I'll upload the image here again. And now I'll ask for the following. Erase the text Claudio Truagro from this person's suit in the JSON code. So for that, I'll have to copy the original prompt here again. Then I'll paste it. It's already here in PRO. And I'll send it. Done. It's finished here. Let's compare how consistent they are. On my left side, the original image with his name here on the suit. On my right side, the edited image, now without the name. Notice that I have the same lighting, the same texture, the same angle, and the same facial expression. So, this technique is simply amazing. Why? When you ask artificial intelligence to break the image down into JSON, it will examine exactly all the elements that are present in that image. When it does that, it can understand the whole context. And from there, you can request any edit you want in the ways I just showed you. editing the JSON code directly, asking artificial intelligence to do this, to make this edit for you without having to mess with the code. Or ask Gemini to replicate the photographic techniques so you can apply them to another photo. So guys, give it a try. Because this technique of using JSON code to edit images is one of the most efficient I've ever tested here on the channel. So, what did you think of this tip? Can you use it in your daily life? Did you already know about this technique? Let me know in the comments, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
I've been